Now, what I would like to ask you, again, because you're standing here, and so you've brought your identity on the table for discussion. So how do you know that you're a woman?
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. So yesterday, Matt Walsh was live with YAF down at New Mexico State University. And as usual at these events, at the end, you have people who come up in disagreement. They ask questions, engage in a little bit of back and forth banter with the presenter, the person who's speaking. And Matt Walsh asked this person right here, which is a trans woman, aka biological man, trans woman. Matt Walsh asked him, "How do you know you're a woman? Explain it to me. Explain what it means to be a woman. What is a woman? You know, the Matt Walsh thing, the thing that Matt Walsh does." So we're about to get into this. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe while we're watching. Now let's roll it.
Hi, Matt. I'm transgender. I'm born and raised here in New Mexico. I have a graduate degree in information technology, marketing, business, and finance. I own my own home. I pay taxes. I have a six-figure job. I'm a respected professional in Albuquerque. I'm a mother. My life experience is that I'm an awesome person. I am well-liked. I'm responsible, and I think I'm pretty cool. You touched on something. You said something earlier that for you, when somebody calls you a man, it doesn't faze you because, like, you just know that you're a man. That was interesting to me because I feel the same way about my identity as a woman. My question leading up to this, you've asserted that no one would ever see me as a woman, that nobody would ever see or could see a transgender person as a woman, and yet I have dozens of friends from diverse backgrounds, women from the reservation, a woman from Japan, several immigrant women. I have my coworkers, I have my boss, my VP, my CEO.
Okay, I just let him go on for a while. Now, he started off just name dropping all his credentials, which that's cool. You know, if you transgender, I don't care. You can, have whatever credentials. I want you to win, regardless, of what, you identify as. I would like everybody to win to some capacity. It sounds like, this person is doing good for themselves. But the second part of what he said, name dropping all of his friends and how they affirm, what he identifies as, well, that's not a very good testing sample. Your friends, of course, your friends and the people around you, people closest to you will be more likely to affirm what you believe because, they don't want to hurt you. They don't want to upset you, hurt your feelings. But me, for example, I don't know this person from a can of paint, and I would never classify or categorize this person as a woman. I just couldn't do it. In his case, in this person's case, I think the best way to find out what people really think is you got to ask someone who you don't know, who won't feel bad about telling you the truth. And if you were to ask most straight men, they would not be attracted to this person because they still look like him. You can very much tell that this is someone who was born a man, and straight men are attracted to women, natural born women of all shapes and sizes, might I add, but we are attracted to natural born women. Just because you feel a certain way within your gender identity that goes against what you were naturally born as, that doesn't mean that the entire world will actually see you as that other thing. You know what I'm saying?
All respecting me as a woman. My family. My long-term friends who are actually here with me. All of these people assure me, like, I'm a woman. They'll tell me, girl, like, there is no way you are a man. They see me as a woman. So the question,
Okay.
how can you assert that nobody would ever see me as a woman when my material experience tells me you're wrong?
Okay. It's interesting that that's the part of my talk you chose to ask a question about, because that's not in my talk at all. I don't believe I said that no one would ever see you as a woman. I mean, it's possible, I suppose, that you could fool someone. Now, you brought this up, so I have to tell you that you brought this up. You've put your identity on the table for conversation. And so I'm going to say you wouldn't fool me at all. I mean, I see a man 100%. And I think that most people would. Now, the fact that you have people in your life who are saying to you, oh, you're totally a woman, That's exactly what I'm talking about. No one in my life has ever once said to me, "You're totally a man, Matt." You know, if a friend of mine called me on the phone and said, "Listen, Matt, I want you to know you're really a man," I would think that there was something wrong with him. I would say, "Why are you saying that at all? It doesn't make any sense." So the fact that this is a conversation to begin with tells me, it only proves the point that I'm trying to make, that your identity, even in your own mind, is up for, it's something that you need to be assured of. Now, what I would like to ask you, again, because you're standing here, and so you've brought your identity on the table for discussion. So how do you know that you're a woman?
Now, quickly before they give their answer, it's probably people out there who are going to say Matt Walsh was mean, Matt Walsh was harsh, he went a little bit too hard. But no, I mean, he's just saying what most people think, you know, and we need more people to just be honest and just keep it real and just say the truth. This guy that thinks he's a woman is not fooling nobody. And that's why I said you got to ask someone who you don't know, someone that's straight, someone who's attracted to natural born women. People in that category like me and Matt Walsh would not be fooled for 1 second. There's nothing that you could tell a straight man who is 100% straight, like not dabbling in none of the foolishness at all. There's nothing you could tell a man like that will convince him to date someone like this, to sleep with someone like this, to actually take this person serious as a, you know, a marriage partner, relationship partner, sexual partner. Never. Never. Not in 100 years, not in 1,000 years. And that's not disrespect. That's just not something that we're attracted to, and that's not something that we would ever compromise on. If you're a man, you could say you're a woman all you want, but you can't force a straight man to be attracted to you or to, you know, want to engage in certain activities with you. It's a name for that.
It was first when I heard transgender persons describe their experience in their own words, and this was only about 2 years ago. Hearing somebody describe things, it was a woman from like England, describing her experience, her childhood, her teenage years. And it blew my mind to be listening to her, because it was just some podcast that I was listening to while I was like doing laundry. But it blew my mind to hear somebody so eloquently and precisely describe things that I had experiences.
What
that
was
I
the
had
description?
experienced.
What did they say?
Okay, so I am honestly hesitant. I know that you touched earlier about the difficulty that transgender women might have in describing their identity, but I want to state, I honestly don't feel that you would engage in this conversation in good faith.
Then why are you
And
here?
so-
Why did you stand up to talk to me if you don't want to have a conversation? You're saying that you discovered that you're a woman. I'm asking you how you did. That's a very fair question.
Okay.
How do you know that you're a woman?
That's fine. All right. So first of all, listening to transgender people, and it was like, okay, this is a one-off, you know, one person describing these things. Things like looking at yourself in the mirror and not recognizing yourself. Hearing compliments like, you are such an example, like a positive masculine role model. And just hearing that and being like, you know, it feels like they're talking about somebody else. It means feeling alone, even when you're surrounded by guys, even when you have a lot of friends. And I was active in like Boy Scouts. I'm an Eagle Scout. I had great masculine role models my whole life, and yet I never felt like I belonged. I felt welcome and
But
included.
why does that make you a woman?
So based on the answer, which isn't really much of an answer that this person is given, it's all just a feelings thing. It's really no way for someone like this to describe what makes them a woman. You know, a real woman could easily describe what makes them a woman. I'm sure of it in under 10 seconds. But for someone like this, it's just all feelings.
Because
As opposed to just a man who doesn't get along with some other men, or a man who's depressed, or a man who doesn't feel at home totally in his body, which, by the way, is a pretty universal human experience. Everybody goes through it at one time or another. So in what way does that make you a woman, though? And it's interesting. You're telling me that you listen to the experiences of other transgender people.
Well, yeah.
But what about women?
So
Because trans women are women, you would say, right?
I would say that, yes.
Exactly the same?
Yes.
Okay, well then why do you
Well-
need to hear the testimony of trans, quote unquote, trans women? Like how you pick any actual woman in this room? In what way do you know that you belong in the same category as them?
I know because they tell me. So here was the...
You need them to tell you what you are?
Women, yes.
This is amazing.
I trust the opinions of the women around me.
And if most women,
it's incredible. You might try it sometime.
If most women voted and said they don't see you as a woman, would you say I'm not a woman anymore?
If who?
If most women voted and said they don't see you as a woman anymore, would you then relent and say I'm not a woman?
I would say most people on the planet have no idea who I am. I'm going to trust the opinions of the people who've spent their lives with me.
But you are relying on other people to tell you who you are, is what we're establishing.
For context, I know you like to think, I know you like to say, everybody's rah-rahing and supporting transgender people, and yet they're still killing themselves, etc. But I'm standing here in a room full of people applauding you and asking questions like, how can I put out legislation here in New Mexico, my home state I grew up in, to try to reverse transgenderism? I'm not safe. And it wasn't.
How are you not safe? You just said you're standing in a room with people who disagree with you and you're perfectly fine. So how are you not safe? Okay, look, we're going round and round. You don't want to answer any of the questions. Maybe we'll end with this because we're talking about womanhood. So people can probably shout out the question I'm going to ask you right now.
Okay.
But you know that you're a woman.
Yes.
What is that?
The infamous question.
So gender is a social thing. It only makes sense.
I don't want to hear that. What is a woman? What is a woman?
What is a woman?
The word woman, define in the dictionary. Go.
A woman is somebody who is included and respected and seen and participates in society, recognized by other women. If you speak with women...
Circular definition.
That's a terrible definition. No, that's a terrible definition. I think men can definitely recognize a woman. I mean, men are the ones who impregnate women, and women are the people who birth all of the children. Every person on this earth came through the canal of a woman. Just because some people and people in your personal circle affirm you in being a woman, that doesn't mean that you get the universal pass.
That's mine. Whatever.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a very interesting conversation. I think a big reason why this has exploded into culture the way it has is because for the longest time, people who didn't feel right in their body, quote unquote, people who, felt like they were the opposite gender, they had ways of expressing themselves, cross-dressing, drag. They had ways of expressing themselves, but it didn't necessarily leak into society the way it has now, where we're told that we're supposed to affirm them, supposed to believe them, and we're just supposed to go along with the program and go along with what we're told. But that's where we have arrived now today, where we're told that you're supposed to believe them, supposed to affirm them. But the problem with believing and affirming and going along with everything that people like this person thinks is that it erodes what a person like me thinks and what a person like I believes. And you can't think that both are true at the same time. It goes against what most people believe to say that this is a woman right here. And that's why people like me, like Matt Walsh, have a problem with it and are speaking out against it. It's not a hate thing. It's not about hating them and wishing bad upon, people who are confused with their gender identity. But it is about taking a stand for what we believe to be true, and we have the right to do so. But that's it for the video, you guys. Let me know what you thought about this video in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe when we're at the door. And until next time, I'm out of here. Peace.